Hello, my name's Sleepy. This is Imperium Galactic Survival Alpha 5.5.1. And if you notice something different, I'm actually speaking in this video. Normally I won't speak in my vehicle introduction videos, but this one I felt it was important because there's something that I have to make sure you understand. This is the Hummingbird. This is the vehicle we'll be introducing today. This vehicle is called Found. I did not build this vehicle. I actually found it on a multiplayer server. And this is what I derived the Hummingbird for. The only vehicle that I've ever put on Steam that the original creation wasn't mine, but I don't know who created it. The reason it's called Found is I was playing on a multiplayer server and I was on the moon getting parts to build my first CV. And there was a wrecked ship there. And I was in my Bumblebee and I flew over there and there was a ship parked there. I was like, uh-oh, it's a PvP server, so I had to be careful. So I flew around, but there was nobody around, so I just really went about my business getting my parts. I got a bunch of parts. I was there for a while, and I got ready to leave. Well, this ship was still sitting there, so I went and checked it out. And it was set to public. And I'm thinking, I'm here for parts. This is sitting here, nobody's using it, claiming it, or whatever. It's set to public, so I landed my Hummingbird on it, changed the faction over to my faction, and locked the Hummingbird on and took it back home. I was just going to tear it up for parts. When I got back to my base, I started to take it apart, and I started to look at it. And the beauty and the ingenuous of its design just struck me. I was like, oh my god, this thing's really cool. And unfortunately, I didn't get the name of it, and I don't know who originally built it. I would love to get whoever created this vehicle in the first place and give them credit for it. It's just the simplicity of its design I think is absolutely wonderful. I named it Found, and later on I started playing with it in creative. My final version, well, the version I'm on now anyway, I've upgraded this thing so many times and played with it so many times. It's called the Hummingbird. Now, the Hummingbird is a very small, very easy, very cheap CV to spawn in. And it's always in-game my first CV. Let's take a look at it. If you hit the right menu. Let's go check out our blueprints. Let's look at the Hummingbird. See, I've got a lot of different versions of it. This is the Hummingbird turret. It takes 1,838 iron, 487 silicone, 440 copper, 380 cobalt, 124 sathium, 74 neodyme, 1 plastic, and 1 wood plank. It can be spawned in at class 10. That's a cap with a warp drive that can be spawned in at class 10, and it's this cheap. Total production time is under an hour. Now, what I use this vehicle for, and the reason it's always my first spawn in, is my style of gameplay. I want to go get the rares, and that's exactly what I use this vehicle. That's exactly what I built it for. I've added guns to it to protect me from the drones and from the little baddies on the planets. But I want to be able to go get the rares as early in game as possible, so I don't have to worry when I get my auto miners, or if I want to use different guns, if I want to use rail guns, or whatever guns I want to use. I want to be able to have a good supply of the rares. And if you watch my playthrough on version 6.0 experimental, that's exactly what I used it. Now, I have set this up to be the exact same as I did use it in the 6.0 experimental version, even though it's a 5.5 spawn in. And this is exactly what I took with me. Now, normally in all past versions, the only thing that ever went to get the rares was me and my little Hornet here. And this was just a little one-wide platform back here. But being in 6.0 with all the new changes in the environment and everything, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get out and hand mine, because normally I just hand mine on the rare planets. I got the Hornet there in case I get in trouble, and I rely on the guns of the Hummingbird to cover me. But I wasn't sure what I was going to come across, so I did bring my digger with me to mine with in case the environment was really bad and all that. And she's actually more efficient than hand mining. And I also brought my 106 with me to fly air cap. And the way I operated this mission was I went to first a lava planet, I hop in the 106, I do an air cap mission where I take out all the local drones and everything, make sure there's nothing going to be threatening me. Then I'll fly back, land it next to the Hummingbird, then I got into the digger, and this is all in the videos once they get posted. I'm not to that level yet, even though I've already done them, I'm not to that level posting yet. I got into the digger and mined the ores, and then I loaded up and I left, and then I went to Mesperian. Did the exact same thing. Now, Mesperian, there was a little difference. I ran into one of the patrol vehicles while I was flying in the the Hummingbird. So I didn't want to take the Hummingbird up head-to-head against the patrol vehicle because she is just regular steel. Like I said, she's built to be spawned in as cheaply as possible. So what I did then was I flew away, looking for a further away place to get the Zarcosium. And I was curious about whether the patrol vehicle would follow me, because the plan then was to use the 106 to see if I could take out the patrol vehicle or not. She didn't follow me, which I was a little disappointed with, because I really did want to take the 106 up against her, but the mission was to bring home the rare minerals, not to go play. So I did my air cap run with the 106. The patrol vessel never came, never showed up. I did all my mining with the digger, everything. I loaded her up, and then I brought her back home, and I ended up back home with all my rares. I did put a ramp on here to make loading and unloading of the mining vessel, the hover vessel, much easier. Let's take a look at what all she consists of. She's got one ammo box, because like I said, she's not a fighting vessel. She's designed to go get your rares. She has 3 cargo boxes, so you can carry a lot of cargo. Cockpit, of course, she's got a core, 1 door, that's only on the bottom. I have not upgraded her 6.0. She does not have oxygen inside. She's got less food in my fridge. She's got 2 fuel tanks, a generator. She does have a medical bay where you can heal yourself. She's got an O2 station, 2 O2 tanks. She's got 27 thrusters, 2 turrets, of course. She's got both of your warp drives, and then she's got a ramp on the back. Let's take a look at the inside real quick. She's got a little door on here in the bottom. You go up inside. Now, the original version actually had your med here and your oxygen here, but I found it really difficult sometimes, depending on which angle you're parked, to be able to get to. So I swapped them out with the 2 large oxygen tanks. Here's your fuel tanks. Now, later in game, if you use this, you can swap this out with a T3, but I didn't want to put the T3 in here to up the level, because I wanted to keep it as low level spawned in as possible. Here's your little med bay. You can get healed. Here's your little O2. You got a little cargo box. You got a little shower here. I think up there is your fridge below your core, but you have to get to it in the P menu. You're up there, the fridge. Now, in the 6.0 playthrough, like I said, I had never been to the rare planets of 6.0. I didn't know what to do. I actually did put a little armorer right here because I wanted to take different types of armor with me, because I didn't know what type of environment I was going to find. I normally run around in light armor, but I wanted to bring my heavy armor. I wanted to bring the different booster packs I had with me, because I had never been there in 6.0. And after dealing with the cold in 6.0 with my open cockpit vehicles, I had to figure out a new plan and make sure I came prepared. So I did stick an armor in here and take my different types of armor, and ended up not needing them, but precaution is the better part of valor. All the thrusters and all the RCSs but 1 are all back there behind the warp core. So that's all been rebuilt and reconfigured. So she performs really well. I'm extremely happy. Right above your head here, that is your where you put your warp fuel. I tried to make as much of this accessible as possible. This is your front RCS. Here's your cockpit. You just go up here and you get in your cockpit. Press. I better get some fuel. I don't know how much fuel I have on me. We're going to grab a little bit of fuel here. Let me have the fuel. It's not going to let me have the fuel in the H. Why not? Alright, we'll get this way. I'm not shy. You can put your fuel in either through the P menu, or you can walk down here and just stick it in there, however you want. Oh yeah, this is the old version. I'm in 5.5. I forgot. I was thinking I'm getting so used to 6 now. And she flies like a dream. I mean, she flies like a bad fighter, just to be honest with you. Which, that's okay for a CV. For a CV to fly like a bad fighter, there's nothing wrong with that. You load her up with the 15mm for the guns. They'll take care of any drones or anything like that. Like I say, the patrol vessels are the new wild card. That's why I took the 106, and that's why between the environment and the patrol vessels is why I extended the back deck. Like normally in all the other games I just go with my Hornet, because my Hornet's not really a ship. The Hornet is more of my personal armor. I built the Bumblebee and the Hornet back in the day when there wasn't any advancement in armor, because I was learning and I was getting my rear kicked and I wanted armor. So the Hornet and the Bumblebee really aren't ships. They're not designed to be ships. They're designed to be your mech warrior suit. Alright, let's get in here. As far as how does she perform, turn her on, we'll go into Y. performance characteristics are fine. Like I said, she's not a combat vessel. She's designed to be take you early in the game and get your rare minerals. Now, I do use it, yes, but I also do use it though in the PvP. One thing I've actually found she's really handy at, and normally in game I'll build it, go get my rares, come home, and tear it up to build my second CV. But in every multiplayer game I've ever used her in, I've ended up rebuilding her, respawning her in, and I use her for interdiction items, for patrol missions when I want to go scout. She does make a great little scout vessel if you want to go into dangerous space, into other faction space, and scout out what they have, but you don't want to risk your high dollar CV. She is really a cheap alternative to take into another faction's airspace and just scout out what they've got, what kind of defenses they've got, what they've got built there. Let's say maybe you're planning a raid or something like that. You can actually spawn this in on the cheap, fly in there, kind of do your plan out, see what you're going to have to face, see what the best way to get in there to do your raid, or if you're going to do some mining in their territory or stuff like that. She makes a nice little cheap alternative to go in there and see what exactly you're going to be up against before you go in there with your CV. But I swear by the Hornet, by the Hummingbird, I love it. It's just such a handy early game usage. Now remember, it's not a combat fighter. It's not designed to go out there and fight other CVs. It's not even designed to go out there and fight SVs. She's designed to spawn in as early in the game, and at level 10, I mean, you're always going to be going to get the rares just a little after level 10, so there should be no issue at all about your level when you're ready to spawn her in, because it'll take you that long to gather up the materials and everything. And she can take you up to the rares, and she can bring them home. And if you watch my playthrough, I have proven it. This is a Hummingbird. I'm going to put her in Steam. Enjoy. My name's Sleepy. This is Imperium Galactic Survival. Peace.